Naasu Fofanah is an international development professional. She's a politician and the deputy leader of the Unity Party. She's an entrepreneur and owns Susu Consulting, which produces Susu chili coconut oils. She's an author who recently published her book, Leave It to Nasu, How to Take Charge and Go for What You Want. She's a proud mother and contently divorced and single. Nasu was a special advisor to former President Koroma. She's a strong women and girls advocate with keen interest in violence against women and girls. As a survivor of rape, she has been a powerful voice on influencing policy decision-making and blatant advocacy on ending the culture of rape in Sierra Leone. COVID is real. Stay safe. Welcome to Real Talk with Aline TV show. I am your host, Aline Keister. I'll be right back after this.
Let's watch the Real Talk with Aline TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Aline Keister.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Aline TV show. Here with me is Naasu Fofanah. Help me welcome Nasu to Real Talk with Aline. Welcome, Nasu.
Thank you. Thank you. This is really beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Nasu is a lady that wears many, many hats. So we have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be really, really interesting.
Not just hats, wigs as well.
Wigs. I like that. Wigs. You know what, Nasu, you're here because, like I said, you have a lot going on. And now you're actually the author of your own book.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to this.
Thank you. I'm super excited. That was great. How does it feel like being an author, seeing your name on the book?
Oh, just on Saturday,
right,
they brought me the hard copy.
Okay.
5 copies of the hard copy.
Are you serious?
Yes. And when my cousin delivered the book to me, I froze. I was just sitting there like, it's my book.
It's like,
so I didn't know what to expect. So I had to go to the bedroom and I kept looking at the book. And I'm like, wow, it's my book. So then it dawned on me like maybe like an hour later. And then I got really, really excited. It's very, very, I mean, it's a lot of hard work.
Okay.
And so you have that, wow, I did this. I actually completed it. I accomplished it. And it was a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. I mean, I am still getting used to writing.
And you feel good about it.
I feel absolutely.
What pushed you to write a book, though? Like, what was the purpose of it?
I just feel like, in our society in particular, we don't share most of our experiences. Our reading culture is also not as great because even I never used to read a lot.
Okay.
I just used to read textbooks and, school books, academic books, but other stories. But I found out that we have so much to share to, other women, the next generation of girls in particular. And I just thought maybe my story would inspire other people. Okay. So for a very long time, people have been saying, you must write a book. But I felt like, no, I want to act. I want to get into the movies. I want people to say action. Not everybody.
So you wanted to just write it so people can act it out?
No, I actually wanted to be an actress. I'm probably still going to act anyway. Don't be surprised.
No, I would not.
but that was my first intention. And then I thought, because I kept thinking, well, if I write, maybe the girls in my village wouldn't get the book, but maybe they'll get the video, they'll get the CD. So, but eventually I got to grips with it and I found the opportunity. I was prepared and you just did it.
All right. You mentioned something earlier, which is actually the main purpose. You said you wrote the book to inspire people. And for me, having you here on the show is actually because of that. Imagine with everything you've gone through, you put that on hold and you actually went back to school at your age. I mean, how do you do it?
What age?
For me.
Well, I always knew, and I still feel like I'm still going to go back to school.
Okay.
Education for me was just a gateway of getting out of poverty.
Okay.
Okay. So I decided that getting an education was my only way to do the things that I wanted to do, etc., etc. So this particular schooling, I didn't plan it because prior to that, Harvard University came into Sierra Leone, and they tried to get some of us to enroll in the program. So for nearly like a year and a half, I was daddling with that. But my daughter was at university, so I didn't see myself. And I just started work at State House, and I wanted to make sure that I did the service that I had signed for. I didn't want to do 6 months or a year and then leave. But then I always knew I wanted to do something else. But I was thinking I will start my professional doctorate, not another master's, you know, not another. But because this was different, it was an executive master's, I thought I'll give it a go. So it was actually an opportunity that was sent my way through one of our young people, Aminata Wuri. Aminata sent this, oh, Madam Nasu, because it was an Oprah Winfrey fellowship.
Okay.
So I thought, oh, well, okay, I said, oh, but Aminata, please, I'm 47, you know, Daddy can't go to school. And so, no, you know, Madam Nasu, I think you can do that. I said, what? I have a master's already. I don't need another master's, yes. And anyway, so I read the thing and I said, okay, because you've taken this time and you sent it, I'm going to give it a go. So I applied and I got accepted, but I didn't have a scholarship. Then during the, because it's 2 universities, New York University and then University College London. So during my last interview, I was told that there was an opportunity for a scholarship from the UK side, and they encouraged me to apply. I applied for it, and it's extremely competitive. It's a global scholarship, and I bagged it, so I had a full scholarship. That's how I did it.
And you did it, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right,
yes.
so of course, we talked about your book. It's not really quite available yet, but it will be available in September.
Yeah.
But a little birdie told me about your book, and you know, so I'm cautious about it. Your childhood, what was it like growing up in Kenema?
Well, I had different places that I grew up, but Kenema is where I went to secondary school. So my teens, basically, because I spent some time here. In fact, I went to Mauritania Municipal.
Okay,
yeah,
you did?
Yes, I did. I went to SLC in Kenema, so we started there, and then I joined my dad here at Mauritania Barracks because he was in the military, and then I went to Wellington Municipal, and then I went to St. Joseph's Moyamba, then the boarding school closed, then I went to Kenema to do the rest of my secondary school. So Kenema was fun. It was, teenage years, so it was exciting. I became Miss Kenema 1986.
Okay.
Beauty queen. My mother nearly killed me. She didn't know.
You didn't know. You just
no, she didn't know.
You took part in it.
No, she didn't know. I had my Michael Jackson jacket, and so I went unopposed. All the other girls just ran away. So late Mahmoud Najib just said, "Okay, we have a winner. I'm going to compete with her," but Nasu won. So anyway.
So just like that.
Well, because the other girls decided not to go, but I had a very very different childhood, but I was very active in sports. I was active in the script union. I was active in the debating society. I was a very active young girl, and very popular. I tried sports, but I never really used to do very well. But other activities, I was quite good.
It was quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the young lady named Kamo Aliyu.
Come on, Aliyu. You have read.
Susua. And now Susu. Nasu. The younger, the Nasu now come from Kamo Aliyu.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a guy's name.
Yes.
So, what's up with that?
so this is my mother's story.
Okay.
Okay. I was born, and when I was born, I had something clutched in my hand, and this Muslim cleric, who was, the village cleric, looked at me, according to my mother, and said, "This, a girl for be big. It's an, you know, the usual thing. A boy picking you don't born or something like that. So she's going to be somebody, but because her character is so strong, she's got masculine, if not man. So Adegia my name, and that she's going to be powerful. So in the village, they still know me. I still have to go visit as Kamo Aliu. So like you don't need to pray too much for her. She's come with her own,
star,
so her own star and everything. And blessings.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me Kamo Aliu. So there are people who call me Kamo Aliu.
Okay.
And so that's the story with Kamo Aliu. What I remembered as, you know, my first name was Susua,
okay.
Susua, yes. And of course, I was carrying my grandfather's name. So yeah, I've got all this change of names, and
and he ended up with Nasu. I like Nasu anyway.
Well, Nasu is my father's my grandmother's name.
Okay.
Nasu. Yes, you have to try. So my father was very particular about how you called. Yes.
So we're saying Nasu, but it's Nasu.
Nasu.
All right, well, I have Nasu here with me, and we just started this conversation.
Yes.
Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'll be back right after this.
Let's watch the Real Talk with Leonean TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Leonean Kistar.
If you're just tuning in, I'm here with the beautiful Nasu that wears a lot of different hats. I mean, she has a lot going on. Sometime last year, you wrote an open letter to the person who raped you. One of the major questions that people have been asking, when you were, I think you were 15, right?
Yeah.
Did you know then that it was rape, or this was somebody you were actually with? I mean, you know, a lot of young girls be dating a lot of older men. So, I mean, is it now that you realize it was rape, or?
Well, I mean, that terminology, like I've always said, did not even exist. It exists in Mende.
Okay.
Bundemi.
Oh.
Okay, so, but the direct translation is like, you grip me. Okay. But, so no, it's, I didn't know. In fact, when that was going on, it wasn't a one-off thing. So it's something that came on board from a person who, a person of care, in a place of care. Basically, I trusted this person. This person was my reverend. You know, he would say, he would give me praises as a child. He was the one who confirmed me. So this was a very trusted space. Okay. And you asked me earlier about my childhood. Praise is not something I used to get much at home. Okay. So I was studious. I was very, very bright in school, and the expectations were high. Okay. Maybe that's why I wear so many hats, because the expectation is just very high. So I never used to really get, oh, you're doing really well. It's like, okay, you can't force, you know, but it's not. And you know,
wasn't appreciative.
I think my mother was proud, but she was a single mother at that time, and she probably wanted, you know, more, because you know, everyone let them give me belly. So she wanted to accelerate. She wanted for me to, you know, be focused. So I had no opportunity to do wrong.
Okay.
So whenever I did something that was deemed wrong in her eyes, I mean, na bit normal, you know. So there was no, you know, back and forth, or, I mean, you've done wrong, no explanation, you come, you know, you get beaten or you get your punishment. It was their error. That's what they did. Okay. And so then you have somebody, and now we call them mentor, or well, I would say that, you understand, because you're somebody who will say, you know, Elaine, this is really nice, you know, your hair looks really beautiful. I mean, we all need that validation, you know, especially as a young girl, as a teenager, you need that. So that was that person. So this was somebody I trusted. This was somebody, and if he had told me to do 10 million things differently, I would have done it. I was very much in his, for me, you will feel that, in fact, it's a favor. I mean, it's a blessing that
like that
is talking to me. You know, you adore him, you're in awe with him, because he's the reverend of your church, highly respected. You know, how many other girls would have wanted him
that
to
same
pay.
attention.
Well, I later
So is
found
that
out
the
anyway,
reason-
few of them got the same attention as me, but
Oh, you later found out. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
That's another
Okay,
story.
so, but clearly at that time and until recently, I probably just felt it was, and that is what pedophiles, in my opinion,
Yeah.
do. So they make you feel special, they make you feel like you're the only person, and so you are on that little pedestal. So I didn't interpret it then because I didn't have the scope to understand that what
understand.
was going on with me was wrong. I've always maintained that.
So I'm pretty sure that's why it happened several times. It wasn't a one-time thing. It was ongoing.
No, and I almost, the more, you see, over the years now since I spoke out about this in 2016. However, my ex-boyfriend who I dated for 5 years, when I was in London recently, he told me that I actually told him when we were together.
Are you serious?
Yes, I said, did I? He said, yes, you told me it was a religious leader. So you see, because when trauma takes place, you have so many ways of getting it into the subconscious. You understand? So again, I was with a trusted person and I had divulged it to him until he told me quite recently. I didn't remember. I have always thought that the first time I actually spoke about it was in 2016 when it came out of an interview on BBC. I just said, we were at the, what do you call the place? We were at the Parliament, demonstrating about the abortion bill that President Nkrumah had failed to sign, and the Interreligious Council had gone there to, they influenced it. So I was really angry that they had this platform, basically, speaking on our bodies, and then I got interviewed on air, and it just came out. So why? Yes, like why are you here? Like you've asked me, about this, and I said I'm here because these guys have no moral standing to talk about this. One of their clergymen raped me. It just came out.
Just came out just like that.
Just like that. And then you obviously had reporters around. So just after that, people started running after me,
trying to get the interview.
Trying to get the interview, and it didn't dawn on me that I had just said that, But before we went there, few of my female friends will attest to this. When we were preparing, I said to them, I'm angry about this because, one of these guys raped me. And it was the first time I said it in the 50-50 office. But everybody just thought maybe I was just joking. And I remember clearly Nikki Spencer Coker and Wara Sarikama said, Nasu will not know I'm Bobina. I said, no, I'm serious, guys. So I said it before we even went there. So when I saw them, it sort of brought back memories. I got really angry, and then I spoke. And once I spoke, I got home. Then it sort of like dawned on me. So there's this WhatsApp group set up by Nikki, and it became for the next 3 years after that initially one interview. It became like my counseling space to go, because I went through a lot. I developed high blood pressure and all of that. That was when I spoke in 2016, before the letter. And the letter, the letter
came last year.
Well, you saw the letter last year, but the letter was actually written on the 18th of March 2018.
Oh, wow.
That was after I had tried to get the attention of this person.
Because that was the other thing, because after we saw the letter, we're like, okay, it's been, 25 years or 30 years?
35.
Why is she saying it now? Why is she bringing out the person's name now?
Yeah.
So it was more like, is she trying to do it to get attention? Is this real?
How much more attention would I have needed?
Right, but you know how it is in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
We were just confused.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And I'm like, no, she probably has a reason of just naming this person.
Yeah.
So did you feel good after that? When you actually finally said, boom, is this person in the name? So right then, we were like, there is a person, she ain't lying.
I don't know if you ever feel good naming somebody. This is an experience. This is trauma you've gone through. So remember, I actually spoke publicly about I have been, I'm a victim of rape.
Yeah.
And considering where I have come from, that was surprising. I mean, up to 2016, nobody spoke. People were not talking much publicly talking about this. And then I had to go through all of that process, and I tried to find him to see where he was. Because I have had boyfriends. I mean, I have had boyfriends who, if I really just wanted to, you know, be noticed, I think I have one or two names I could have just dropped, and the world would have been like, the cameras would have been like, you know,
would have been there.
Yes, but no, because I didn't have that experience with those people. This was an experience, you know, I got pregnant, you know, I got bitten, you know, so there were all of those things. But Elaine, what triggered all of that was, you see, we all have ways of dealing with our trauma. Yeah. I wanted to, there are two people. One I have named, the other I haven't named. But both of them, I contacted them to say, I want to know from you why you did this. Because I think it's also, it is good if you have the opportunity to challenge people. You know, I already had a public platform. This wasn't going to be an easy thing. There are so many things I would have done to gain more attention. But this was taking a toll on me. I didn't even know, because I developed blood pressure. I didn't know it was all of that stress that I was dealing with. So for a year, I contacted this man and I said, we need to talk. So when I went to London, the second side of my course, in January 2018, I sent him another
email.
Not email, no. Because after 2016, I found him. I needed to know whether he was still in this country or he was somewhere else.
You had you don't know who he was.
No. Okay. So then he could have been dead. Do you understand? So then I found him on Facebook and I sent him a friend's request. I was like, whoa, okay. So, but I wanted to have this conversation, like, why did you do this? This is what I went through, etc. I just wanted him to know what I had gone through and what my story was. And I just felt like he acted like he was so superior, and I felt like he felt like didn't. So 2018 January, when I sent him a letter, when I sent him this message, he told me that he was going on a conference, religious conference, and then when he gets back, he will get back to me. That he will get back to me by Thursday. So I thought, okay, I've gone through this before, but let me wait and see. So after that, it took another month. I didn't hear
from him. He didn't respond.
He didn't respond, and so on. So then I sent, before I wrote the letter, I said to him, this is the last time I am contacting you. You have refused to engage with me because you know what I am trying to face you for. Because by this time, he was on my Facebook and he had seen some of my posts on this rape. So obviously it rang a bell, okay? So he was my friend on Facebook. So I said, you decided not to meet with me. So I will not contact you again. You know, I will tell my story as and when. And so I sent him that. And I was so upset that night. There are two people in this country who were like mentors, one a woman, one a religious leader. I got to them, I was crying. So this is all 2018. And then I decided on the 18th of March to write him that open letter. I wrote it in March. It took a lot out of me because it was close to my time, you know, to do my exams for the last course. And it was very difficult to write that letter. I actually wrote the letter to him and the head of the Baptist church in the UK. I wanted to send it. Somehow, in the morning when I woke up, I thought to myself, you're studying. You can send this letter, but you don't know what else is going to come. You're here to do your course. Concentrate. It affected me, you understand? It affected...
It affected you because he wasn't responding, or it's because you've actually realized that this was all wrong?
No, of course I knew it was wrong, but I'm that kind of person, Elaine. I like to hear, however difficult things are.
Talk about it.
This is how I cope. In my marriage, I did the same. In my relationships, I do the same. People can wrong you, and we all have a way of dealing with our issues. So it's not everybody wants to go to court. Some people just want you to know that, Elaine, you see what you do me, this is how I feel. And maybe you can apologize to them and they will understand. And then you move on with it. It's about, for me, it was about closure because something was sitting there.
So would you still have written the open letter if he had had that conversation with you?
Possibly not. Because where everything I wanted him
If you had that closure, it would have been done with.
No, absolutely. Because most likely, depending on the conversation, I wrote that letter in March. In September, I was in the UK. I was in the bus. By this time, you know, a lot of people, the rape talk has become very, very topical. And I was in the bus. I'd just come from shopping, okay? And in the bus, on Facebook, his wife shows up on somebody's page to, you know, really, as a woman, saying all this rape business, you know, these perpetrators, you know, the government should take action against them. And I'm like, whoa. But you know what happened? My body went into shock. I was racing. I wanted to get home. And I did not use my key to open. I rang the bell and my landlady opened. The moment she saw me, she's like, what's wrong with you? And I just dropped the bags and I started crying. Nasu, what's wrong with you? She's never seen me cry, you know. And then I had to tell her, and I told her that I'd written this letter. So she said to me, it was on a Thursday. She said, I want you to send that letter to him. And I said, actually, I'm going to send it to his wife through Facebook. Elaine, I went upstairs. I took my phone and I sent this letter via Facebook Messenger to his wife. I said, I want you to know that this is what your husband did to me. This was all in...
Just between you and them?
Yes, this was all in September. And when I sent that letter, you know what happened to me? I bled. My body went into shock, okay? I was bleeding in the shower. My landlady in London could attest to this, okay? So I wanted to call the ambulance, but then I stabilized. The following morning on a Friday, I woke up and I went and I sent the letter. That was in September. So we had this gap. And there's somebody in this country who, in fact, came in between. Because when I sent the letter 3 or 4 days later, he came on my Facebook. Somehow he managed to get on my Facebook, on my main page. You know, or was it on somebody's page? I think on my main page, okay? And he said, I didn't know it was you, in black and white, okay? And could you give me your number? And I said, no. Can I have your email? I gave him my email. And immediately he sends me an email.
What was in the email? Did he apologize or anything like that?
Again, I didn't know it was you. I'm so sorry. You know, I was busy, you know, and da-da-da-da. But, you know, you were such a polite girl, you know, lovely, always respectful, all of these flowery things that he used to tell me. So those came again. But anyway, you've written this now. My wife has seen it. I have to pick up the pieces, but I hold no grudges. Hold no grudges. That was the trigger.
That was the trigger.
That was a trigger because I just felt like you have decided not to respond. Now I've sent this letter. Nobody knew. You, the public, didn't know about my letter that I had sent to him. He came on the public page, okay? And then later now he's gone into my email and telling me, I bear no grudge.
Wow.
So that was my trigger.
Oh, and that was really, you know what I'm saying, because you're supposed to say that, not him. I'm thinking he apologized. However, I guess not. This is Real Talk with the Lean TV show. I have Nasu here with me. As you see, he's getting hot. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back.
Let's watch the Real Talk with Leonean TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Leonean Kistar.
Welcome back to Real Talk with the Lean TV show. Catch us every Wednesday on AYV, FTN, Star Plus TV, and Afro Radio. If you're just tuning in, I have here with me Naasu Fofanah. However, when you were going through all of this, were you able to tell your parents, or you were just scared?
Tell who?
Like, it's impossible at the time.
My mother.
Yeah.
You know, when the first time I told, so the answer to your question is no. So even after I got that pregnancy, you want giddy, Reverend trouble.
Problem.
Hey, I mean it's Ellen, no.
Oh,
like
God.
no, it's not possible.
So
it's impossible.
this mouthy, outspoken Nasu
No,
was
it's
scared.
junction de pamots. No.
Junction de pamots.
No. It was no. I
It was
mean,
just like a no.
You are already in trouble. You are already in trouble for
even saying
thinking.
that.
No. For in fact going and having that done. It's not whether they did it to you. The fact that you. So it was your fault that you went, and we still have that mentality. It was her fault. So like when I spoke out, when the letter came out and people were like, why now? Because so that blaming of the victim is there. And this is gold. It's gold for abusers, because at the end of the day, they are able to lean on that. And it is a very calculated strategy, knowing very well that you are not going to be able to tell your parents, because you are going to be in trouble. Let me tell you what would have happened. Pepe, the mataudo,
But
it would have gone everywhere and anywhere. That's my body.
just for that.
For
I think that's part of the reason why a lot of rape is happening, because these kids can't even talk to their parents.
No.
But I see you guys are doing that, where you're able to just advocate for their children, because we know some of these things. I'm just bringing it up because that's just a reality.
Yeah, it is.
Of a lot of this,
Yeah.
I think you were able to pull through and speak. Now you have, you're at peace.
But it's a long process.
It was a long,
I had to relieve. I had to go there. I didn't have a chance. I had to basically go back to my experiences with my uncle, with the reverend. So it was just in my face. And I just became very isolated. I could have died because of the way my blood pressure skyrocketed. Okay? And until I spoke last year,
and everything.
my blood pressure went
So it was
back.
a lot of stress.
Yes, it's like you've had this really nasty constipation and you just released it.
And then you feel better.
And you feel better.
You feel good.
My daughter called me. I remember that day when my daughter called me and she said, Mommy, I said, I'm just calling you to know how you feel. My daughter has gone through this with me. Okay. If I wanted to be noticed, I think my biggest motivator is my daughter. But she had seen her mother go through this. You understand? Like you have sex in relationships, you have fun sex, and why would a woman who has earned so much for herself, respect, education, I served as gender advisor to the former president. I had not just a national platform, but why would I have to go back 30-something years if it was not a traumatic experience?
Yeah, I know. But I'm happy for you that you're able to just get over it now, and then you're advocating for all.
And I'm using my story to support other people, and the outcome is not going to be the same for everybody. Some people just want a conversation like this, and they're fine.
And they're fine.
Yeah.
And I think it's working. It's really working. So you mentioned about you being pregnant at the time. Where's that child? Is that your daughter? I mean, was she
that child had no
aborted?
opportunity of arriving. What? I was 15. No, and we are saying this because I mean, our parents had absolute control. Okay. My friend, I had just lost my friend who was sitting next to me in school to unsafe abortion. Okay. Then go get and blue for drink. So she died. Okay. So then, and my mother knew of all that, and then, so the first thing she did was take me to the gynecologist, got it sorted out, gear and coil with enough bits. So anyway, I don't know what I would have done. It didn't happen. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't hold it against my mother. For where I was, she was the decision maker in my life. She did that. And look at the way I'm feeling, even when I don't have that child. Okay. So imagine if I'd had that child.
Yeah,
and all
this.
So, it's too complicated. So no baby arrived.
No baby arrived.
No,
you got rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, a little birdie did read your book. Get the story from the book. Get it when the book comes here. However, I still have some few questions. You managed, by yourself,
Yeah.
to get yourself to the UK?
Well,
I mean, in other words, you were working, you know, as an agent, and then you went to the UK. You did all that by yourself. However, we're gonna go into your marriage. That didn't work out, you know, either.
It worked out. We had a child.
You had the child, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, eventually, yeah, well, yeah, still. But and this husband of yours that you met, you had dated several men before.
Of course,
Yeah,
I was
mean, understand
beautiful.
that.
I
Yeah,
was.
okay. Yeah.
I'm still available.
You
I'm
walked
still
in the
dating.
party, and then
Yeah.
you saw this man, and right then you said to yourself, "That's my husband." He doesn't know that. He doesn't know you, but within yourself, you're like, "That's my husband." And then I guess you guys started dating, got married, and
It wasn't so much like that, but
okay, let me hear it then.
So my friend
Okay.
got married to his friend,
Okay.
and he lived in the States. So I was moving houses that day, so I didn't go to the wedding ceremony. But I came to my friend's house. In fact, this friend had rented her apartment to me because she was going to go to America with this husband of hers.
Okay.
So I went to the party, but I came there, you know, very sweaty and everything. So I needed to wash. She was my friend, so I needed to take a shower. But you had to pass through the living room to go to the bathroom, etc., etc. So I went, and my ex-husband was sitting, for example, where you are, and I was coming from this end. Our eyes met, and something told me, "This is your husband." This man looked nothing like the men I would know. He had goatee beard. He was slim. You know, he just looked. I mean, there was nothing. So that confusion in my head, like, what's that? Yes, exactly. But there was this thing. So then I went and I wore this. I should have found the picture and put it in the book. I wore this black and white check jacket, fit tight me. I was must have been like some -0, you understand? And I had this long curly weave like yours right there, red lipstick, and then I showed up on the dance. You know, I showed up and then he walked up to me, you know, very sort of like charismatically, like, you know, "Can I have a dance?"
Imagine that person you don't meet, like. Okay.
But it was, you know, so there was this thing where I had this voice telling me this was my husband. I didn't even know whether he was married, who he was.
You know his name.
I didn't even know. Nobody has even introduced him to me. Okay, and then he walked to me. There was nothing like flirting or whatever. He walked to me, and then he asked me out to dinner and all of that, and then the man asked me into this for 4 months, you know, engaged me. And 6 months, we're ready to go. He said,
and he was about what, 19 years older?
No. Yes, he was 19 years older.
Older than you.
Yeah.
So right after you guys got married, I think you won the DV or so, and then moved to the States.
So the DV was before we got married. So when we were courting, so just about the time I got pregnant with my daughter. And those, you know, we were the first people who played the DV. There was this magazine called West African Magazine or something. And they just asked you your name, your this, and that. It was very easy. And then I sent it. So in July, I came from work, and I had moved into my fiance's house. And there was this big brown envelope, which was really full, and I opened it. "You have won the DVD." But I paid no attention because I was just like, "Oh yeah, I don't engage. I've arrived." You know, but I'd not even done no say I don't get belly. You know, it was everything. It was around the same time.
So everything happened so fast.
So fast, yes. So yeah, like 4 to 6 months. The guy was just like, you know, I don't want that guy to come back and catch her, so let me just last stadium. Right. So, but that was that, and yeah, so I won the DV, but I delayed the DV because I just thought I'm now getting married and etc., etc. So I was not interested. Now what begin make plaba. So one day
marriage begin go bad. Now you decide for move, thinking you don't run away from him.
Yeah, well, yes, all of that, yes.
I know all of that.
You've read.
No, actually, I
some birds just.
Yeah, little birdie told me all of
that. Little birdie.
He followed you, which was actually the truth.
Yes.
While you were there, and then you realize you're not where you want to be.
Yeah.
education-wise.
Yeah.
You know, this is not you. This is not the Nasu that everybody knows.
No.
That's doing well, the smart.
Yeah.
And then later he decided to go to school, but he
Yeah.
was like, no.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna go back to school,
Yeah.
then this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And literally, you chose education.
Yeah.
Over your marriage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know why I said wow? Because you know how it is. No matter how educated a woman is, there's always, well, Africans, I think Sierra Leone, it's always like, I like you got all the book. If you're not married, not so complete woman.
Yeah.
So for me to hear this, to say you were like, pump the marriage, I'm going to school.
And it wasn't
How
even...
were you able to get to that?
Again,
Seriously.
Again, I am a process person.
Okay.
Okay, so my ex had a very good job. We eventually, you know, in the States, he actually got his job to transfer him.
Okay.
So we went as an expatriate and all of that, even though I had my DV and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. But when my daughter, and I'm sure you've read, I think it's the opening of the book, when she told me I don't know how to read and write, all I do is watch Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Yeah. So this child indicted me. But then I came when she was 3. I came here in
Okay.
1998, okay, October. And a friend of mine who I was in Form 1 with, you know, I said, what are you doing now? And she said, you know, I'm at July, I'm in my 3rd year. And I felt really insecure because we were all together, and I feel even emotional talking about it. I just like, no. So then I went back to the States feeling like, no, I have to go to school. You know, my friend Sophie has just, you know, she's at university. You know, in Naasu, just with me, O-levels, because collegiate I couldn't finish. I didn't pay the fees. I didn't have the money to pay the fees. So I was really, I was down. And so once I got back to the US, I decided to enroll in one of these to get an associate degree.
Okay.
Okay. But my husband's income was very high, so I couldn't get financial aid or none of that. So whatever I had to do, we had to do together. But, you know, thinking back, you know, we were 19 years apart. He was getting on. He wanted another child. And I was not that academically inclined at that time, but my mouth was sharp. I was still very like that. So I guess he was just thinking, if this happens, and he had people, because later, you know, he had people who were saying to him, if you make that they go school, so then you go can't up now you hate. You know, and
so he had that insecurity.
He had that insecurity. I mean, that's what I take now. At that time, I didn't think of that. And so we had this row. And he gave me, I told him, if you don't support me to go to school, I'll go back to London. And he said, if you go to London, I'll divorce you. So divorce it is.
And that's it.
And that's it.
That was the end of the marriage. All right. I have Nasu here with me. We're almost at the end of the show. But of course, when we come back, we're just going to wrap it up. And we still have a little bit more to talk about. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back right after this.
Let's watch the Real Talk with Eileen TV show by our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Eileen Kistar.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Eileen TV show. Catch us every Wednesday on AYV TV, FTN, Star Plus TV, Afro Radio at 10 p.m. If you're just walking in, I have the beautiful Naasu Fofanah, because it's not Nasu, it's Naasu Fofanah, special gender advisor to President Kuroma. At the State House. That's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like working at State House and reporting directly to the president?
It was a rocky road, and you'll see it in the book as well.
Oh, wow.
But it was one of the it's one of the highlights of my life.
Okay.
Because I was given this opportunity without lobbying for it.
Okay.
I was not a member of the president's political party. I was not a member of any political party in this country prior to that job. And even while I was working there, I was not a member of the All People's Congress.
Oh, wow.
So it was well, and I had this opportunity of engaging the president. I'm just cutting it off. You read it in the book. In Kenema in April 2014. 2012.
Okay.
And I had the opportunity of having a one-on-one with him. And I just asked him face blank, President Nkrumah, tell me about your commitments to women and girls. And he sat in what I obviously, having worked with him now, knew in his thinking way, so he put in making no subs. And then he put his glasses like that, and he said, you know, I really want to make an impact in this area. The ministry obviously advises me on what is going on, but I think I need to do more. Because I'm very close to my mother. I have sisters, older sisters, and I have 2 daughters. Okay. Those were his exact words. So I really want to make an impact on promoting the rights of women and girls. And then he asked me to call his ADC, his scope, his state chief of protocol. And he had gone to organize, he was getting ready to go somewhere. Okay. So I was number 2 on the list for him to see people who were visiting him. And he wasn't there, so he said, please call me the ADC. I called the ADC, and he told the ADC, I want to see this woman between Tuesday and Thursday when we get back. Okay, so that was on a Friday. I did not ask him for a job. I didn't know what he wanted. You just basically
asked him what was his commitment.
So now you take that job. Typical big mouth Nasu. You understand? That's how it happened. You know, I mean, it's what happened.
So the rumor about together and stuff like that was all
What's together?
Maybe I don't know.
Waiting like we were lovers?
Yeah, I mean,
okay. Real talk with Helen.
Yes.
Former President Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma never had a pass at me. You know, one day and me, maybe he liked me, but he never made me feel like he does. He never created that avenue for me to feel like he wanted to go to bed with me. I honestly did not see that person that people assumed. I was very frisky at work. I did my work. He very much respected my professional attribute. Okay. In fact, I remember one of his closest aides, one day I was going to see him, and I had just started wearing glasses. And then the lady came out, and she was laughing. I said, why are you laughing? He go, come, your boss send me to you. So we went back into her office. They say, we reschedule you meeting because we had briefing. Okay. Time. We reschedule me for tomorrow. He said, because he gets on. He said, he just see you at the camera, and I say, hey, you're telling us to cancel. It's because wait, you don't put that glasses, so wait, your excellency, dun. So, then, because Helene, it is not easy to bed the president. Yeah. Okay? I mean, I am bold, but I was scared of this man because when people sit in that spot, I met President Nkrumah in a formal capacity. I did not meet him. I'd met him before that time when I was working at the UN. So I've never had an opportunity to befriend him. You understand? Paddy. So there was no... And this person is outspoken. She speaks about injustices. I mean, it's a gamble for like you can't begin and what if he says that and then I just go out and just tell the world? Okay, but he never. It's alone, definitely. No, he never. That position, we were never. He never. That never happened before or after. Never. Yes.
So she actually earned it.
I earned it. People, and I did my work.
Women does win with their brains. It doesn't have to necessarily mean you slept with a person. I just wanted to clear that up because, with Sierra Leone, it was a whole rack of that. Like,
they called me the golden girl.
Special. Oh, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I was golden because I was performing. Of course. But performing professionally. Not performing in bed. Yeah. But it was never, if it was one of those things where you would feel, I could easily sell my book by saying that. If I just wanted to make stories. So coming back to why did she speak about rape 35? I mean, I could have easily said, President Nkrumah wants me. It would be a better story. You understand? But anyway, he never did.
Thanks for clearing that up. This is real talk. Real. So it ended abruptly in a way because their tenure didn't end it at that time. So were you fired from the job or your contract ended?
My contract ended.
Okay.
I didn't
So you
get
weren't
fired.
fired.
No.
Okay.
Every year,
Okay.
you would renew. It's mutual. It's in the contract.
Okay.
So I could say I don't want to work again, and they could say they don't want to work. Most people didn't do it, but every year I would write, that I want my contract extended, and then it will go to the president, and he will approve it, and then, blah, blah, blah. But this particular year, 2015, we've had Ebola. It was exhausting. There was so much stuff going. So I went on leave. I did not even apply for my
Contract to be extended?
No. Okay. Because I had told one of his special aides that, in fact, I was tired. There was too much other stuff going on. Ebola time, you're really not going to go to the president and say, I'm resigning. We have an epidemic, It wasn't the right time. So I left it open. But I was expecting to come back to work, finish my leave and come back. But again, I hadn't applied. So I was expecting anything. So I was in Amsterdam with my friend. We'd just come back from Copenhagen. I was in Amsterdam. And they had already approved my budget to do a very big, actually to support women in the women entrepreneurs. Okay. We're going to have like a building like this where they will have so like Marie, your business partner, will have her line. Like you go to service.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just different, Izila, everybody, Mary and Kaikai, they will all have their line. So you go in there, you have all these lines, and you can, so we wanted that. And we're going to have a restaurant that Suzanne Senesi was going to run.
Oh.
Yeah, so that budget had just been approved, okay? And so it was really sad. So, and then somebody called me from Ministry of Finance and said, what's happening? They not renew your contract. Now I say I not apply for a but now I say you don't call SP. But the SP was trying to get in touch with me. Because I was traveling, he couldn't. So the letter I got was that, okay, my contract will not be renewed, etc., etc., which was fine, you understand. So then I came back and I had my exit briefing with the president. I worked for 3 weeks after my contract ended because they wanted me to, he said, take all the time, get your books in order and everything. So I did all of that. And he said, you're always on. But what he told me was, you are one of my most professional, competent, and passionate, members of staff. I am going to reassign you somewhere else. Okay.
But that never happened.
That never happened. And
however, but you felt good that you.
But the most important thing that he said to me, and as I sit here, I am grateful for that because I saw it with my own eyes, was I have to take you out of here to protect you. Wow. The moment he said that, I asked no other questions. I said, it pleases His Excellency. So he said, come here, come for lunch, come to the house, come do this, come to... And I did.
Was it because of all of that that made you decide to go into politics? Because I realize now you're deputy leader for Unity Party, which is led by a woman.
Yeah. While in State House, I saw how deep, how challenging women's leadership was. I saw women being treated in a manner that I can't fathom. I saw women, educated women. It was almost a crime to succeed. It was almost a crime. So President Nkrumah had women in the presidency. So the state chief of protocol, he had female advisors. In fact, his close office, you had lots of women there. You had women in key, strategic positions. And, the president can have political will, but the people around him sometimes, you understand? Because you have to remember that these positions are all political. When one woman is being appointed, you have like 20 men trying to fight her to lose that position. Okay. I witnessed some of these things. Okay. I saw this.
So that's why you guys are trying to push for women right now?
Yes, because if we don't, and the reason why I'm going into politics is because everything we're doing here today, we decide at that level.
Okay.
You understand? And the impact will be felt positively or negatively. Okay. But women are not at the table. Okay,
and you want women
and
at the
we
table.
want women at the table. This country will not move if we don't have women at the table. But how we're going to do this is by us connecting. Okay, we are a community. We need to celebrate each other, and we need to, you know, be committed. We have to connect. If you read that side of the Women Will Win, you know, those are the pillars, the 3 C's.
You know, you've heard what she said. Want to encourage more women to go into politics.
Yes.
However, there's this other passion that just, well, I think I would have known that. I didn't forget about that, and that's Susu's oil.
I should have brought you some.
I know, I was expecting some. However, are you doing it for just us in Sierra Leone, or are you doing it on a larger scale where you're going to be exporting it?
I'm pleased to say I just got a female partner who is going to come.
Women will win.
Women will win because we need to promote women's partnership in business. You see, going into politics is not cheap. So we need the business women like yourself to come on board. So we aim to export internationally, but we're going to make sure we have the certification, the testing.
Everything that needs to be done.
Everything that needs to be done. So we have coconut oil from Salum.
Okay. Nasu has been here with me. It's been really fun. It's been nice. It's been hot. It's been informative. Personally, I want to say thank you for everything you're doing for the women, and all, you know, you're pushing and doing so much. May God continue to give you strength, because it's not easy. Hey, Sarah,
No.
You know, but lastly, before I go, of course, I have a gift for you. However, yes. Just a fun fact. What do you do for fun? With all this going on with you, like, when do you have time to relax and just chill and just have fun?
I actually have lots of time to relax. I always have my wine and my champagne sitting somewhere.
I need to come to your house.
I cook for myself. I take myself to dinner. I look after myself because I am very big on self-care. I know how to have fun with myself. Right across the board.
Which is important. That's why you look good. At what, 51 now?
51.
All right.
And rolling. So
yes,
you know,
that's great.
I feel good about my age. I feel good about what I've done. I am very humbled that, you know, women like you said, look up to me. But I am so proud of this. That's why when you said, come, I go, I will come. You know, this is beautiful. This is what we need to see, you know, women pushing. I mean, you push anyway. You are an icon in your own way. You know, I had you with, is it Cardinal? The guy? Cardinal. It was, I watched it. It was really nice. Your first show it was.
Yes.
You know, so bring more women on the show.
Oh, I am, definitely.
We have stories.
I mean, this is a process. We're going to get there. We have so much more to talk about. So definitely going to be a lot more women. Yeah. However, you're the first woman.
Woo! Women will win!
Women will win!
Yes.
All right, let me get to your...
And we social distance, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm sorry, but, you know, you were sanitized and all that.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Normally, I know people have actually opened their gift here, but I'm actually saying...
that I shouldn't open mine?
No, I want you to open it. Oh. Because I have a surprise for you in there. Okay.
No way. No. How could this woman get my book?
Yes.
And you know, you were one of the first people. How did you? So you see, you could see that the book has been read.
Of course, I read it. No, you didn't already told
so I'm
me.
going to give it back to you.
Myself.
I'm going to autograph
That's
it.
why, yes, it's for you to sign it and give it to me. It's my book. Actually, that's what I wanted to show you. That
my God.
You can rock it anywhere else.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Now
you can keep that. It was
no,
actually
everything else I'm keeping.
This is the end of the show while she's doing the autograph. Yeah. I have to go now. Make sure you follow my YouTube page if you missed today's episode. I have been your host today, Aline Keister. Till next week.
So, Elaine, Real Talk with Elaine. You are powerful. Women will win. Lots of love, Nasu.
Thank you.